They surrounded Derek's van at the rest stop, yanking open his door, grabbing at the disabled veteran plates, until the leader noticed the tattoo on Derek's forearm, the same trident he'd gotten removed 5 years ago. One phone call later, his old team reminded everyone why you never leave a brother behind. Before I continue the story, please subscribe. I need to reach 1,000 subscribers so I can keep bringing you stories like this every day. It's just one click for you, but it means a lot to me. Thank you. The modified van pulled into the rest stop at 3:47 p.m. Dust swirling in the late September heat. Derek Hayes felt the weight of 6 hours behind the wheel, in every joint, every scar, every inch of the prosthetic left leg that had replaced flesh and bone 5 years ago in a place he tried not to think about. The Oklahoma panhandle stretched flat and endless in every direction. The kind of landscape that made a man feel small. He killed the engine. The silence rushed in. Through the windshield, he could see the single-story restroom building, a vending machine alcove, 3 picnic tables that had seen better decades. Sparse. That was the word for it. Maybe 6 cars in the lot, and 5 motorcycles lined up near the building like predators at a watering hole. Custom Harleys. Chrome catching the angled sunlight. Not the respectful veteran riding clubs he recognized from his years in San Diego. The ones with patches honoring fallen brothers and American flags stitched careful on their leather. These were different. He could tell from here. Derek shifted in his seat, felt the familiar pull of scar tissue on his right arm where the burns had healed in raised ridges that still caught on shirt sleeves. Getting out of the van required a process. Driver's seat to the wheelchair he kept in back. 15 seconds if he rushed it, 30 if he did it right. He always did it right. 5 years of living alone had taught him that nobody was coming to help. And that was fine. That was what he deserved. He had convinced himself of this truth the way a man convinces himself that sleeping on the floor is good for his back. The lie becomes comfortable through repetition. Derek opened the door. Heat rolled over him like a physical thing. The prosthetic felt heavy after hours of driving, the socket pressing against his stump in ways that would leave marks. He maneuvered himself back, hands finding the familiar grips. Body remembering the sequence his physical therapist had drilled into him at the VA hospital in 2020. Pivot, transfer, lock the wheels, check the brake. Independence was a religion he practiced with devotion. The wheelchair was newer than he wanted to admit, the old one finally giving out last spring. This one was lighter. Titanium frame. The VA counselor had pushed the paperwork through, told him he deserved the upgrade. He had not said what he thought, which was that he deserved nothing, that 2 men were dead, and he was here complaining about wheelchair frames. He closed the van door. The parking lot stretched before him, asphalt radiating stored heat. The restroom building maybe 40 yards away. An easy roll on flat ground. Derek started forward, his arms working the wheels with the efficiency of long practice. The sun was behind him, throwing his shadow long across the pavement. He noticed things the way he always noticed things. The way 16 years in the teams had wired his brain to process environments. 3 exits from the lot. No security cameras visible. The motorcycles were Harleys, 2 Softails, and 3 Dynas. All custom work, all expensive. The riders were nowhere visible, probably inside the restroom or around the building. Normal traffic at a rest stop. Normal afternoon. Nothing to worry about, except his hands were already tightening on the wheels, his shoulders already tensing. His body reading signals his conscious mind had not yet processed. 3 men emerged from behind the restroom building as Derek approached. Then a 4th. Then a 5th. They spread out without seeming to spread out, a formation that looked casual, but cut off his angles. Derek kept rolling forward. He was 10 feet from the building entrance when the first one stepped directly into his path. The man was maybe 45, leather vest over a black t-shirt. Chapter President patch visible on the chest. Arms sleeved with ink. Beard gone gray at the edges. Eyes that calculated. Behind him, 2 more bikers angled in from the sides. The younger one, aggressive in his posture, moved with the energy of someone trying to prove something. The heavier one looked like he just followed orders. Derek stopped the wheelchair. His training kicked in automatically. 5 hostiles, leader and 4 subordinates. The aggressive one was the immediate threat. The follower would move last. The other 2 unknowns. Exits were compromised. Van keys were in his lap. Phone in his cargo pocket. He ran the calculations in the space between heartbeats, then pushed them down. That was not who he was anymore. That operator had died in Yemen, along with Jimmy Chen. Derek looked up at the man blocking his path and kept his voice level. "Gentlemen, I am just trying to use the facilities." The word gentleman came out with no irony, no edge, pure de-escalation training. The chapter president looked down at him. A slow smile, the kind that did not reach the eyes. "Well now, looks like we got ourselves a hero." The wheelchair, the disabled veteran plates visible on Derek's van. The way his right arm hung just slightly wrong. All of it registered. The young, aggressive one, Snake from the patch on his vest, stepped closer and flicked the water bottle from Derek's wheelchair cup holder. It hit the asphalt and rolled. Oops. Derek did not look at the bottle. He kept his eyes on the leader, reading the situation, feeling it slide toward something bad. "I do not want any trouble. Just need to use the restroom and get back on the road. You hear that, boys? He does not want any trouble." The chapter president, Cutter from his name patch, tilted his head. "But see, the thing is, we are curious. Disabled vet, all alone, driving this fancy modified van. What kind of hero are you?" 2 more bikers emerged from the restroom building, Diesel and Prospect from their patches. The younger one, Prospect, had that hungry look of someone trying to earn his place. 5 to 1 now. Surrounded. Derek's hands gripped the wheelchair arms, knuckles white against tan skin. Part of him, the part that had survived 16 years in the most dangerous places on Earth, was already planning the response. Grab Snake's arm when he gets close, use his momentum to pull him down, take his knife from his belt, use Diesel as a shield. Target Prospect first because he is unpredictable. Then Cutter, save Ratchet for last because followers run when leaders fall. The sequence played out in his mind with crystal clarity. Then he buried it. 5 years of burying it. That was not who he was anymore. Cutter reached down and plucked the van keys from Derek's lap. "Let us see what a hero keeps in his ride." The violation of it, the casual disrespect, sent heat through Derek's chest. He said nothing. Cutter walked to the van, the others following like a pack. Derek sat in his wheelchair in the middle of the parking lot, alone, the sun beating down on his shoulders. He heard the van door open, the sound of his belongings being rifled through, the laughter. Snake pulled out Derek's disability equipment, held up the leg braces like trophies. "Check it out. Got a whole hospital back here." Diesel scattered VA paperwork across the asphalt. Forms and appointments and reminders that Derek Hayes was 38 years old and broken. Ratchet found something in the center console. Held it up. What is this? Some kind of makeup? Cover-up cream for the tattoo. Derek had bought it 3 years ago, tried to erase the seal trident from his forearm, given up halfway through. The ghost of it remained, visible in certain light, a reminder of who he used to be. Snake's voice went sharp with mockery. Oh man, fake soldier boy could not even hack it. Had to cover up his tattoo. Probably got it at some mall kiosk. Derek remained silent. His hands gripped the wheelchair arms, the metal warm under his palms. He could feel his heart rate elevating, controlled breaths through his nose, all the biofeedback training clicking into place. Stay calm, do not engage. They will get bored, they will leave. Cutter walked back over, stopped in front of the wheelchair, reached down and grabbed Derek's right forearm, yanked it forward. The movement pulled Derek half out of the seat. Pain flared in his shoulder, old injuries protesting. Cutter's thumb rubbed across the faded tattoo. The seal trident, unmistakable even through the attempted removal. The eagle, the anchor, the pistol, the trident. The symbol Derek had earned in 2008 after 6 months of the hardest training on Earth. The symbol he had tried to erase. Cutter's face changed. Recognition. Then something darker. Well, a real-life frogman. He said the word frogman like a curse. "Where is your team now, hotshot?" Derek's voice came out quiet. Steel underneath. "You do not want to do this!" Prospect kicked Derek's prosthetic leg. The impact jolted through the socket. Some soldier. Cannot even stand up. The mention of his team. That was the breaking point. Not the assault. Not the mockery. The mention of the team he had left behind. The image came unbidden. Yemen. 2019. The building collapsing. Derek pinned under concrete and rebar, his leg crushed, his radio screaming with voices. Marcus Chen pulling at the debris with his bare hands, blood running from his fingers. Jimmy Chen going deeper into the building for the hostages. The explosion. The secondary charges. Jimmy never coming out. Marcus losing his arm 3 weeks later to infection from the rubble wounds. 2 men destroyed because Derek had been too slow, too careless, too human. The mission that had cost everything. The mission that had proven Derek Hayes did not deserve to wear the trident. Did not deserve the brotherhood. Did not deserve anything but the isolation he had built around himself. Like a fortress. Derek's voice was barely a whisper. "You do not want to do this." But they did. Diesel grabbed the wheelchair from behind and flipped it. Derek hit the asphalt hard. The impact drove the air from his lungs, sent lightning through his ribs where the old fractures had never quite healed right. His prosthetic twisted wrong, the socket grinding against his stump. He tasted blood, gravel embedded in his palms. The sky above was blue and endless and indifferent. Instinct overrode everything else. His right hand found his cargo pocket, found his phone, muscle memory from 1,000 drills. The code they had established back in 2015. The code they had never used. The code Derek had convinced himself he would never need because he had cut those ties, burned those bridges, made himself unreachable. His thumb moved across the cracked screen. Atlas. 40-mile marker 47. 5 hostiles. Send. 4:02 p.m. Snake stomped on his hand before he could pull it back. The phone screen spiderwebbed, but the message was gone. Delivered. To 6 numbers programmed under a single contact name. Team. Cutter picked up the phone. Looked at the screen. "Who did you text?" "Your mommy?" He saw the contact name. Saw the deleted message in the outgoing log. Did not know it had auto-forwarded to Marcus Chen in Oklahoma City. To Lisa Rodriguez in Dallas. To Jake Patterson in Amarillo. To Tommy Walsh in New Mexico. To David Morrison in Virginia. To Carlos Ruiz in Texas. Did not know the machine was already moving. Cutter deleted the message from Derek's phone like that would matter. Tossed the phone aside. Let us teach this frogman some respect. They dragged Derek toward the motorcycles. His prosthetic scraped across asphalt. His hands left blood smears. The shame was a physical weight in his chest. 5 years of telling himself he did not need them. That he was better off alone. That he had failed them so completely that he had no right to their loyalty. 5 years of silence and isolation and self-punishment. And now, in the space of a single desperate text, he had broken that silence, had admitted he needed them, had asked for rescue. The taste of blood was in his mouth. Gravel embedded in his palms. The prosthetic leg twisted wrong, pain radiating through his stump. Above him, the 5 bikers laughed and planned their lesson. Around him, the Oklahoma panhandle stretched flat and empty in every direction. Inside him, 2 warring thoughts. The shame of needing rescue. The desperate hope that maybe, just maybe, after 5 years of silence, they still cared enough to come. The time was 4:03 p.m. 17 minutes until arrival. Derek Hayes lay on the asphalt and waited to see if the brotherhood he had abandoned would remember the promise they had made. No man left behind, even the ones who left themselves. Marcus Chen was 42 years old and had not panicked in 17 years. Not in Fallujah, not in Kandahar, not when the building came down in Yemen and his brother died in the rubble. But when his phone buzzed during the client meeting at 4:03 p.m. and he saw the single word Atlas on his screen, his heart stopped. The code they had established in 2015. The code they had never used. The code that meant a brother was in mortal danger. He was on his feet before his conscious mind registered the movement. Emergency. I have to go. The client started to protest, but Marcus was already through the door, his phone already dialing his business partner. Cancel everything. Derek needs us. He did not wait for a response. His truck was in the parking garage, 3rd level, and he took the stairs 3 at a time. The go bag was behind the driver's seat, where it had been for 5 years. Always prepared, always ready. Even though Derek had cut contact, changed his number twice, disappeared into whatever isolation he had built for himself. Even though Marcus had spent 5 years angry about it, hurt by it, unable to reach the man who had been his closest friend. The GPS said 2 hours and 15 minutes to mile marker 47 on I-40. Marcus pulled out of the garage doing 50, hit the highway doing 80, and settled into 95 once he cleared the city limits. His phone rang. He answered on Bluetooth. Jake's voice came through rough with adrenaline. You got it too. I am rolling. 85 miles out. I called the club. We will have 6 bikes. I am 90 minutes out if I push it. Marcus downshifted, past a semi, pushed to 100. Make it 90. Jake. Yeah, he is our brother. Bring him home. Always. Marcus ended the call and dialed the next number. Lisa Rodriguez was elbow deep in a thoracic surgery when her smartwatch vibrated against her wrist. The pattern was specific. 3 long pulses, 3 short, 3 long. She knew it instantly. Atlas. Her hands did not shake. 16 years of surgical training and combat medicine had taught her control. But her heart hammered against her ribs. Dr. Kim, take over. The chief resident looked up, startled. Dr. Rodriguez, we are in the middle of family emergency. You have done this procedure. Close for me. She stripped her gloves, dropped them in the waste bin, and was out of the OR before anyone could argue. Her phone was in her locker. 3 messages. The Atlas code. The location. She calculated automatically. Dallas to Oklahoma Panhandle. 350 miles by road. 45 minutes by air. The hospital had 3 medical helicopters. She had pilot credentials from her Navy days. Ben answered on the second ring. I need Bird 3. Now, Dr. Rodriguez, I cannot just. Log it as a training exercise. My authorization code is, Lisa, what is going on? A teammate is dying. I'm not asking. 2 minutes later, she was on the roof. Flight suit on. Headset adjusted. Pre-flight check running on muscle memory. The rotors spun up. The city dropped away beneath her. She texted the group while the helicopter climbed. Inbound. ETA 440. Medical ready. Her hands were steady on the controls, but her mind was racing. Derek. 5 years of silence. 5 years of unanswered messages and disconnected numbers, and the weight of knowing he blamed himself for Jimmy. 5 years of wanting to shake him and hug him and make him understand that none of them blamed him. That they had all lost Jimmy. That grief was not something you carried alone. The helicopter cut through the sky at 140 knots. Jake Patterson was under a motorcycle in his garage when the phone alert came. He knew the sound, had programmed it himself 5 years ago, had tested it once to make sure it worked, had never expected to hear it for real. He rolled out from under the bike, oil-stained hands grabbing the phone. Atlas. Derek. Mile marker 47. I-40. 5 hostiles. Jake was 55 years old and had retired after 20 years in the teams. His knees ached. His back hurt. His hearing was shot from too many explosions and too many gunfights. None of it mattered. He ran into the house. Sarah, his wife, looked up from her book. Derek is in trouble. That is all I know. I am gone. Sarah had been a Navy wife for 23 years. She knew what Atlas meant. Bring him home. Jake grabbed his keys, checked the hidden compartment in his truck bed. The tactical gear was still there, still maintained. He had told himself he kept it out of habit. The truth was, he had kept it for this. For the day one of his brothers needed him. He dialed while he drove. The veteran motorcycle club president answered on the first ring. "Bull, what is up? Need 5 riders. Emergency. Real one. Where? I will text coordinates. How fast can you roll? 3 minutes. We will meet you at the highway." Jake's truck roared out of his driveway. 2 blocks away, 5 other veterans were already starting their engines. They did not know the details. They did not need to. A brother needed help. That was enough. The convoy formed at the I-40 on-ramp. 6 motorcycles in tight formation. Jake's truck in the lead. 85 miles to go. They opened the throttles and rode. At the rest stop, Derek was propped against his van. The bikers had dragged him back, amused by his struggle, energized by his helplessness. Cutter stood over him, arms crossed. The afternoon sun was lower now, shadows stretching long across the parking lot. "You know what your problem is, frogmen. You guys think you are heroes. You think you are special." Cutter's voice had an edge Derek had not heard before. "Personal. Raw. My brother Kevin. He died in Afghanistan. 2017. Marine Infantry. Helmand Province. Following orders from guys like you. High-risk operations. Unnecessary missions. He died for nothing." Derek looked up at him. "I am sorry about your brother, but this will not bring him back. Do not you dare talk about him." Cutter's face flushed. "You do not get to talk about him. You do not know what it is like to lose someone." Derek said nothing. The irony was too bitter. He knew exactly what it was like. Snake was searching the van again. More thorough this time. Found something wedged behind the sun visor. A photograph. Faded. Edges worn. 8 men in desert fatigues, arms around each other, smiling at the camera, the seal trident visible on their uniforms. Taken in 2018. Before everything went wrong. Look at all these tough guys. Snake held up the photo. Where are they now? Derek's eyes fixed on the image. Marcus with both arms. Jimmy alive and grinning. Lisa laughing at something Jake said. Tommy and Carlos flanking the group. Doc in the center, team leader, the man who held them all together. Where are they now? Closer than you think. The thought came unbidden. 17 minutes since the text. If they got it. If they responded. If they still cared after 5 years of silence. Ratchet spoke up for the first time. We should take him for a ride. Let us see how a SEAL handles the highway at 90. Diesel shook his head. Cops might come. Someone might have seen. Cutter considered. Looked at Derek. Looked at the empty parking lot. Made his decision. Humiliation first. Then we leave him. He wants to be a SEAL. Let him complete a mission. Crawl to that bathroom, Frogman. Let us see what you are made of. The bathroom was 40 yards away. Derek looked at the distance. Gravel and asphalt. His hands already torn and bleeding. His prosthetic twisted wrong, grinding against his stump with every movement. The shame of it. The degradation. But also the calculation. Buy time. Keep them occupied. The team might come. Probably would not. But might. He started crawling. His palms hit gravel and pain spiked bright. The prosthetic dragged behind him. Useless. His right arm, weakened by burn scars, trembled under his weight. Sweat stung his eyes. The bikers followed, laughing, recording on their phones. Part of Derek's mind was still the operator. Still calculating. He could grab Snake's ankle when the man got close, twist, break it in 2 places, take him down. Use Prospect's knife, the one visible in his belt. Roll toward Diesel, use him as a shield. Target Cutter next because leaders going down breaks formations. Save Ratchet for last because followers run. The sequence was there. Perfect. Practiced. Impossible. He was damaged goods. Outnumbered. Alone. He crawled. The asphalt burned through his shirt. Gravel embedded deeper in his palms. The taste of shame was worse than the taste of blood. The weight of 5 years pressed down on him. 5 years of convincing himself he deserved this, that he had failed his team so completely that isolation was not just punishment, but justice, that asking for help was weakness, that needing anyone was betrayal of the man he should have been. He made it 15 yards, collapsed. Cutter's voice came from above him. "That is it. That is a Navy SEAL." Derek's voice came from the ground, rough with exhaustion and something else. "You want to know about SEALs?" The bikers went quiet. "Tell us, hero. Tell us what makes you so special." "Yemen," Derek said. 2019. June. Hostage rescue. 3 aid workers kidnapped by militia. My team inserted at 0200. Building was rigged. We did not know. The memories came sharp and immediate. The night vision green of the compound, the careful breach, the hostages found in a basement room, alive, terrified, the feeling of success, then the explosion, the world turning inside out. Concrete and rebar and the smell of burning, the crushing weight, his leg trapped, bones splintering, the radio screaming in his ear. I was pinned. Derek continued. 2 of my teammates went deeper for the last hostage. Marcus, my second. He stayed with me. I ordered him to leave. "Get the hostages. Leave me. We do not leave brothers behind." He called for backup. Held position. The bikers were listening now. Even Snake had stopped smirking. But Jimmy? Marcus's brother. He went alone. Got 3 civilians out. Saved their lives. Secondary explosion brought down the exit. Jimmy did not make it. The image was burned into Derek's memory. Marcus screaming his brother's name. The dust settling. The terrible silence. "I got my teammate killed." Derek's voice was flat. "Factual. That is what SEALs do. We make impossible choices. We count the cost. We live with it. Or we try to. I could not. I pushed them all away. Changed my number. Disappeared. Because I did not deserve their brotherhood anymore. I got Jimmy killed because I was too slow, too careless, too human." The parking lot was silent except for the wind. Even Cutter looked uncomfortable. His anger mixed with something else. Recognition, maybe. The mirror of his own guilt about Kevin reflected in Derek's confession. But pride would not let him stop. Guilt does not buy you a pass. The time was 4:16 p.m. 5 miles away, Jake's convoy thundered down I-40. 6 motorcycles in formation, engines roaring in harmony. Jake spoke into his Bluetooth, briefing the veteran riders, who had dropped everything to follow him. Disabled SEAL being assaulted. 5 hostiles. We establish perimeter, intimidate, wait for others. The riders understood. They had all been there. Combat. Brotherhood. The code that said you answered when a brother called. We do not engage unless Derek is in immediate danger. We are the show of force. Copy that, Bull. The road blurred beneath them at 85 miles per hour. 15 miles away, Marcus pushed his truck past 110. He had called ahead to a state trooper he knew from Joint Task Force days. "I am headed to mile marker 47. Emergency. I might be speeding." The trooper's response was careful. "I will be 25 minutes behind you." "Try not to start a war." Marcus checked his go-bag. Tactical vest. First aid. Zip ties. His prosthetic right arm, the one that had replaced the flesh he lost to infection after Yemen, worked the gear with practiced efficiency. 5 years. 5 years of letting Derek isolate, of respecting his silence, of not pushing hard enough, of hoping he would come back on his own. The guilt tasted like copper. The determination burned hotter. His phone buzzed. "Lisa. ETA." Marcus answered. "How close?" 3 minutes. "I see the rest stop." Visual confirmed. Hostile situation active. Derek is mobile but restrained. Lisa's helicopter circled at distance. 2,000 feet up. She could see the configuration through the cockpit. The van, the motorcycles, the figure on the ground, the 5 men standing over him. Her medical training assessed from altitude. Subject appears injured. Movement limited. Need immediate landing zone. Cannot land yet. Marcus's voice. Too dangerous. Might escalate. Circle and wait. Lisa's hands tightened on the controls. Every instinct screamed to drop down, to get to Derek, to treat whatever injuries those animals had inflicted. But Marcus was right. Tactical before emotional. She prepared her medical kit, checked her approach vectors, waited. Across the country, the rest of the team mobilized. Tommy Walsh drove through New Mexico, 4 hours out, pushing his truck as hard as it would go. David Morrison coordinated from Virginia, retired but still thinking like a team leader. Carlos Ruiz rolled out of Texas, 6 hours behind but coming. Doc's voice came through the group call, calm and commanding. Jake, you are first on scene. Assess and contain. No heroes. We bring Derek home intact. Understood, Doc. And Jake, yeah. Tell him we never forgot. Tell him he was never alone. Jake's throat tightened. Roger that. The convoy crested a hill. Jake could see the rest stop ahead. 2 miles. The sun caught the chrome of the hostile motorcycles. The figure on the ground near the van. Derek. His brother. The man who had saved his life in Ramadi in 2014. The man who had stood beside him at his wedding. The man who had disappeared into grief and guilt and 5 years of silence. Time to bring him home. Jake keyed his radio. All riders. Target in sight. Stay tight. Stay controlled. We are the cavalry. Let us remind these boys what that means. 6 motorcycles roared toward the rest stop. Above them, a helicopter circled. Behind them, Marcus Chen pushed past 115 miles per hour. And on the ground, Derek Hayes lay bleeding and broken, and waiting to see if the brotherhood he had abandoned would remember the promise they had made. Derek heard them first. The sound cut through the haze of pain and shame. Motorcycle engines, different pitch than the Harleys. 6 bikes rolling into the rest stop in spread formation, tactical positioning that made his operator brain light up with recognition. The bikers looked up from their mockery. More customers. But these were not customers. Jake's crew cut their engines simultaneously, practiced precision that spoke of coordination and discipline. Protective perimeter forming without a word spoken. Jake Patterson dismounted, removed his helmet, and walked directly toward Derek. He was older now, gray beard, lines around his eyes, but he moved like an operator. Smooth, purposeful, dangerous in the way that only truly capable men can be dangerous. Cutter stepped forward, trying to maintain control of a situation that was already slipping. This does not concern you, old man. Jake ignored him completely. Knelt beside Derek on the asphalt. His hand on Derek's shoulder was solid and real and impossible. The weight of 5 years and 17 minutes compressed into a single moment of contact. Jake, you did not have to come. I pushed you all away. I changed my number. I disappeared. Jake's voice was quiet. Steel underneath. Yes, I did. He helped Derek sit up against the van, movements careful, assessing injuries with the efficiency of long experience. Jake's crew fanned out. They did not draw weapons, did not threaten, did not need to. Their presence was enough. 5 veterans in tactical formation. Silent, watchful, protective. Cutter tried to salvage his position. There are 5 of you and 5 of us. Odds are even. Jake looked up at him. You cannot count. There are 6 of us, and we are just the advance team. He gestured to the sky. The helicopter was visible now, circling at distance, sunlight catching the rotors. You are bluffing. Jake's phone rang. He put it on speaker. Marcus's voice came through, calm and controlled. Jake, I am 2 minutes out. Status. Contained but hostile. Derek is hurt but stable. Copy. Lisa's bird can land if you secure LZ. Cutter's face changed. Recognition. Fear. This was not random. This was coordinated. This was military precision applied to a civilian situation. He tried to bluster. "You cannot just come in here and take over." "We were just having a conversation with our friend here." Jake stood. His voice went cold, quiet, more threatening than any shout. "You put hands on our teammate, our brother. There is no scenario where you win this." Marcus Chen's truck hit the parking lot doing 50, gravel spraying, dust cloud rising. He was out before the vehicle stopped moving. Tactical vest visible under his jacket. Moving with purpose. His prosthetic right arm worked the door handle with practiced efficiency, the arm he had lost to infection after Yemen. After pulling Derek from the rubble, after choosing to stay instead of pursuing deeper into the building, his first look at Derek on the ground, blood on his hands, prosthetic twisted wrong, and Marcus felt rage and guilt in equal measure. 5 years of letting him isolate. 5 years of not pushing hard enough. 5 years of hoping Derek would come back on his own. Marcus addressed the bikers. His voice carried command presence, the weight of authority earned through years of leading men in impossible situations. "I am giving you one chance. Leave. Now." Cutter tried to save face. "Desperate. We were just having a conversation. By assaulting a disabled veteran." Marcus's voice cut like a blade. "That your idea of conversation?" Snake made his mistake then. Reached for his belt where the knife sat. Jake's crew reacted instantly. 5 veterans stepped forward in unison. Perfect timing. Perfect coordination. "The message clear." Marcus raised his hand. "Stand down. All of you." He addressed the bikers again. "You have no idea who you are dealing with." He pulled out his phone. The old photo. Derek's SEAL team. 8 men. 2018. Before Yemen. Before everything went wrong. "See this man." Marcus pointed to Derek. "He took a building collapse for his team. Held position while we extracted hostages." His finger moved to another face in the photo. Jimmy. Smiling. Alive. "This man, Jimmy, was my brother. He died a hero. Saved 3 civilians. Gave his life doing what we all swore to do. And this man," Marcus gestured to Derek, "spent 5 years blaming himself for it." His voice broke slightly. The emotion controlled, but visible. "He pushed us away because he thought he did not deserve us anymore. Because he convinced himself that needing help was weakness. That brotherhood had an expiration date, and you decided today was the day to teach him a lesson." The helicopter was descending now. Louder. Closer. Dust kicking up from the rotor wash. "You picked the wrong veteran. The wrong day. The wrong rest stop." Cutter was deflating, the reality crushing his bravado. "Look, we did not know he was actually a SEAL. We thought he was just some stolen valor guy. You did not want to know." Marcus's words were precise, surgical. "You saw a disabled man alone and figured he was easy. Figured you could hurt him and feel strong. That is what cowards do." Lisa's helicopter touched down in the empty section of parking lot. The dust cloud expanded. The rotors began to slow. Lisa Rodriguez emerged with her medical bag, moving directly toward Derek. Trauma surgeon, former SEAL medic, combat veteran, professional, precise. She knelt beside Derek without acknowledging the bikers. "Hey, warrior, let us check your vitals." Her hands were already working. Pulse, blood pressure, checking his eyes, palpating his ribs. The prosthetic leg. Contusions, possible fractured ribs. Prosthetic needs realignment. "You are battered, but you will survive." Her presence, female, professional, clearly military, further undermined whatever narrative the bikers had built for themselves. The state police cruiser rolled in with lights but no sirens. Jake's trooper friend. The timing coordinated. The response planned. The trooper stepped out, assessed the situation with experienced eyes. Well, looks like we have got assault on a disabled veteran, destruction of property, possible hate crime. Federal charges, if we want to push it." The bikers realized. They were not escaping, not walking away, not laughing this off. Cutter made his last play. It was just a misunderstanding. Derek surprised everyone, his voice cutting through. Marcus, wait. Lisa and Jake helped him to his feet, supporting him on both sides. His prosthetic still twisted wrong, but he stood anyway. Faced Cutter directly. Your brother, Kevin. He died in Helmand Province, 2017. Marine Infantry. I did not know him, but I knew men like him. Cutter stared. How do you know that? Because when you mentioned him, I recognized the pain. I have carried the same guilt about Jimmy. 5 years of it. 5 years of convincing myself I did not deserve to live because he died. That I should have been faster, smarter, better. Derek continued, his voice stronger now. But here is the difference. My team did not let me drown in it. They came for me today even after I pushed them away for 5 years. Even after I changed my number twice. Even after I convinced myself I did not deserve their loyalty. He addressed the trooper. I want charges filed. For assault, property damage, all of it. But I also want them to understand something. Derek faced the bikers again. You think brotherhood is about who is toughest, about who can hurt who. It is not. It is about who shows up when you are at your lowest, who refuses to let you fall, who drives 90 minutes at 100 miles per hour because you sent a single word. You all chose to attack. These men chose to rescue. That is the difference between a gang and a team. The trooper began reading rights. Zip ties coming out. Professional. Efficient. Cutter was being led away when he looked back. I am sorry. About today. About everything. I just miss my brother. Derek's voice was quiet. Work on being better. For Kevin's memory. That is how you honor him. Not by hurting strangers. By helping people. The bikers were loaded into the cruiser. More units arriving. Statements would be needed. Evidence collected. But for now, Derek was surrounded by his team. Lisa worked on his injuries in the mobile medical unit from the helicopter. Marcus retrieved Derek's scattered belongings. Found the old photo Snake had pulled from the sun visor. Looked at it with Derek. You kept it. Could never bring myself to throw it away. Even when I was trying to erase everything else. Even when I covered the tattoo. I kept this. Jake's motorcycle crew departed after confirming Derek was safe. Salutes, nods, quiet words of respect. Veterans, recognizing veterans. The code honored. Doc called on speakerphone from Virginia. His voice filled the interior of the helicopter where they had moved Derek for treatment. Derek, I am going to say this once. 5 years is long enough. You have punished yourself enough for Jimmy. Time to come home. Derek's voice shook. I do not know if I can. You do not have to know. Marcus knelt beside him. You just have to try. And we will be there every step. Lisa finished bandaging his hands. Ribs are bruised, not broken. Prosthetic socket needs professional adjustment, but it will hold. You need rest, fluids, and about 3,000 hours of therapy. She smiled. I know a good VA counselor. I will make the introduction. The decision was made without discussion. Derek could not drive his van. Injuries too severe. Marcus would drive it. Lisa would fly the helicopter back to Dallas. Jake would follow in his truck partway. Make sure they were good. During the drive to the nearest town, medical check required, hotel for the night. Derek and Marcus talked. Truly talked. For the first time in 5 years, Marcus confessed his own guilt. Not saving Jimmy. Retiring instead of staying to honor him. The anger at command decisions. The grief that had never fully processed. Derek confessed his isolation was partly punishment, partly fear of letting the team down again. The weight of survivor's guilt. The shame of needing help. Both men cried. Release of 5 years of grief. Brothers sharing pain instead of carrying it alone. The hotel that night became impromptu reunion. Tommy arrived from New Mexico by midnight. Carlos coordinated video call from Texas. Doc joined virtually from Virginia. Hotel conference room, filled with laughter and tears, and the kind of bonds that only form in fire. Derek looked around at his team. I need to ask something. Why did you all come? After I pushed you away, changed my number twice, did not answer messages. Marcus answered immediately. Because we made a promise. No man left behind. That does not have an expiration date. Jake leaned forward. And because Jimmy made us promise something before he died. The flashback came in Marcus's words. Jimmy, trapped in the rubble, knowing he was not getting out. Using his last minutes to give instructions. Take care of Derek. He will blame himself. Do not let him disappear. Marcus's voice broke. We failed that promise for 5 years. We let you disappear. Today, we got a second chance. We were not going to fail again. Derek broke then. Full, emotional release. Supported by his team. Held up by the men who refused to let him fall. Doc's voice came through the video call. Derek, you are welcome back anytime. Not as operator. Those days are done for all of us. As brother, we have got spare rooms, family dinners, the whole thing. You need people, we need you. 2 weeks later, Derek moved temporarily to Jake's property in Amarillo while sorting his life. Weekly video calls with the full team. Started seeing the VA therapist Lisa connected him with. Joined Jake's Veterans Motorcycle Club. Modified bike for his prosthetic. Called his sister. Had not talked in 3 years. I am ready to visit. And I am bringing some friends. The motorcycle club gathering had 50 veterans present. Derek stood in front of them and told his story. Yemen. Jimmy's death. His isolation. The rest stop attack. The rescue. His message was simple. I spent 5 years thinking I did not deserve brotherhood because I had failed. Today I am here because my team taught me that brotherhood is not about being perfect. It is about showing up even when you are broken. Club members nodded, many with similar stories. Marcus, Lisa, and Jake stood in attendance, arms around Derek. The old photo was framed now, hanging in the club's meeting room. Added to it was a new photo from that night in the hotel. Same team minus Jimmy. Older but together. The caption read, No man left behind. 2019 to forever. Derek looked at both photos. His internal monologue finally at peace. I thought I had lost everything in Yemen. My leg, my teammate, my purpose. But today, at a random rest stop on I-40, I learned I had never lost the only thing that really mattered. I had just forgotten to look for it. And they never forgot to look for me. The brotherhood that had saved him in Yemen saved him again on an Oklahoma highway. The promise kept. The circle closed. The warrior brought home.